All right, well, welcome everyone. Importantly, hello to the community who are watching this recording. As we've discussed at length, unlocking $1 trillion affordable housing opportunity is really going to require a combination of several innovations. From how the projects we support are constructed, to how the lease to own offering is designed, and of course, importantly, the technology we use. In order for us to scale from a pilot of 35 homes to projects including thousands of homes, we did require better tooling. Today is a major milestone as we are proud to launch one of these key tools. Our Empowa Pay application has officially been deployed to Cardano's mainnet. Empowa Pay will allow us to leverage the power of blockchain technology to bring added transparency and efficiency to our project. This is the first iteration of the tool. Empowa Pay will provide the platform on which we can ultimately enable innovations such as digital identity and on-chain payments direct from our tenants. Going forward, our tenants' payments data will be written on-chain, creating an immutable record of a fact that we've known to be true from the start. There's both a willingness and an ability for those across the African continent to pay for fairly priced affordable housing. And when provided with a product built with their realities in mind, will seize said opportunity. We feel this is not only a major moment for our project, but for the Cardano ecosystem. Empowa Pay represents one of the first examples of Cardano executing on its vision to disrupt the status quo and enable financial inclusion for those across the African continent. In a minute, I'm going to hand over to Andrew, who will take us through the process of minting our first payment data NFT. So you, the community, can witness this key moment alongside us. But before I do, I really would like to thank the team for the hard work that has gone into getting us to this point. The months of design, development, and user testing the service provider really shows in the quality of the deliverable. I think it's definitely exceeded the MVP brief that we started with. So, okay, that's enough for me. I'm going to hand over to Andrew so he can show you how it all works.
Great, thanks, Greg. I'm going to share my screen. And if folks don't mind letting me know when they can see my screen.
I can see it.
All right, super. So I'm going to log in to our Empowa Super app, designed lovingly and skillfully by Hung. If it works, designed by Hung. If it crashes, that's my fault. And you can see we have a few applications on the go, but we'll be dealing with directly Empowa Pay today. And the Empowa Pay application, as I think Greg mentioned, is sort of like a CRM for service providers, combination customer relationship management system. And it is also our way of being able to validate the cash flows associated with NFT DeFi financial instruments that have been issued in support of the Empowa project. And Greg, can you let me know how in detail do you want to go with the tool, or would you like to go straight to the mint?
We can go straight to the mint. I think we'll do a separate video that runs through Empowa Pay and all its bells and whistles.
Wonderful. All right. So in order to go straight to the mint, effectively, we have to look at the payment information that has been entered into the system. And I'm operating from an admin client. And so we're going to click in and manage some of the many payments that are there. Now, since this is our initial minting process, Greg and we've determined a particular date range that we're going to use, and I'll ask Greg to validate that. So the first process is, instead of going along individual payments, because we have to be willing to have a system that can scale. And in the event that we have thousands of properties, we want to be able to manage tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of informal payments along the way. So The first step is we create batches of payments that will be written to the blockchain. And how we're going to do that is we are going to create a batch. And we need a title and some information for this batch. And I think, Greg, you provided me with some information, so I'm going to copy that down right now. So this batch will actually be the Empowa Pay Genesis NFT, and it's I have 202103. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's the year and the month that this first batch will cover.
Okay, 202103. One of the things we discovered earlier was that we're restricted to alphanumeric characters, otherwise it doesn't mint. So these are all things that we learn along the way. And then the next thing is we're going to add a description to our batch, which is an immutable moment in our affordable housing journey. Okay, so that'll be our description. And now we have to actually go to the process of selecting payments that we want to assign to the Cardano blockchain. So we do that through this process. And we are going to select a date range. And I think the date range that we have opted for is 2021, March 1st to March 31st. So we're going to select March 1st from the from, and to the to, we're going to go, boom. Where's my March? Oh, sorry. We wanted March, right? Not May? I apologize.
Yeah, March, please.
All right. So March 2021, 2021, first. And then you get March. And you said to the left day, I think, 31st. Okay. So now we're going to filter for those payments that happen in those dates. So we have 3 payments that took place or that have been run through the Empowa Pay validation process. So we're going to select all of those payments and assign them to the batch by clicking submit. And as you can see, these 3 payments are now part of this batch process. I'm just going to copy this here just because I'm a little bit lazy. And then afterwards, I'm going to click save. And then that batch should be ready to be assigned to the actual NFT. So this batch is going to be batch number 40. Now, as part of the process of the batching, of course, we have data that we assign to the NFT, but we also have to have a PDF backup because not everybody is necessarily going to be able to have an application that can read JSON, which is the format of the NFT. The other purpose of that is it provides another form of double entry because the PDF and the NFT metadata must match. If there's a mismatch, then there's a bit of malfeasance at play. And the batch total amount is as listed here. Obviously, the currencies can vary. In this case, it does not. So what we are going to do is I'm going to download this particular document, and I'm going to save it to my PC. I think the nature of the screen share window is you don't get to see that, but I'm just going to name this, I'm going to add Empowa to the name of that file and click save in my downloads folder. All right. And now what I'm going to do is at this point, I'm going to select this batch and I'm going to click our door here, which enters us into the world of minting the NFT. And yeah, unfortunately, the CSS didn't take, but that's okay. So what this screen does is it's sort of like a batch confirmation screen. There's a slight error with the colorings or the interface, but that'll be easily rectified. And it just provides us with a validation of the transactions that will be entered into the NFT and into the batch. But we have to now upload the file, the PDF file that contains the accounting data that we want to send to IPFS. We have to now upload that to our server so that the NFT actually has a document or image or other asset to associate with the batch, which it's going to generate. So I'm not sure if I highlight it, you can see the batch details. Obviously, this is not something that the general public sees, and this will be corrected. But you'll also notice that no client information is specifically sent to the blockchain. Empowa has implemented, I think, a pretty innovative ID number sequencing system that requires interpretation through the Empowa technology platform in order to be able to read the data. So now we're going to click Save. And so what it's doing now is it's preparing everything to be put together in the NFT submittable form. So this screen that we have right now, it re-highlights the information that we have associated with the batch. We do have the ability to upload more than one file to IPFS. And for people who are not aware, IPFS, blockchain is very inefficient with handling massive amounts of data. It's actually very, very inefficient at handling data. So there's an ancillary to blockchain, which is a file system that is also decentralized. We leverage this decentralized file system for storing the document form of the batch data. And so that is why we upload the document. And in needs be, we're able to upload multiple documents in the screen before that didn't look so nice. So as this is mainnet, we need to select who the minting party is. And the minting party in this case is going to be a wallet. So the Empowa Pay system has a system of light wallet that we created that's sort of like a dataless super light in that it allows us to interact with the blockchain without actually being a full node of the blockchain. So I'm going to select our Empowa Pay live wallet because that wallet is actually linked to mainnet. And next, what we'll do, well, under view details here, it gives us information about the address, enterprise address, if this wallet is a test account, and the admin owner of this wallet. So it actually has all the functionalities of a real wallet, but it's not a full node of the Cardano blockchain. And now we need to choose a minting type. For the purposes of Empowa Pay, we are restricted to NFT. The real moment of truth is whether we choose to generate a new policy ID or reuse. Now, I'm going to click reuse because we created a policy ID earlier today, but I have no idea if it's actually going to show up, and it did, and it ends in E95 and 72. So Greg, we're in luck. It's the same policy ID we used this morning. It was something I wanted to test but could not. So now we have to go back and enter the NFT information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the name that we wanted for the NFT again. Bear with me. We have Empowa Pay Genesis NFT. I think the descriptor is right. Yes, I believe the descriptor is right. And there's no special characters. Do you want to add the date range to any of this, Greg? Oh no, I should have added the number, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, sorry about that. All right, my apologies. 2021-03. I apologize. I have like you can't see, but I have like 4 different screens happening here. It's testing my abilities. And then I'm going to enter the file name. I'm not going to have any special characters because that actually threw an error last time. But we will have the batch number. So quadruple 4 and then 40, and that's a PDF. So I'll just leave it like that. I don't want to test things for this particular one. Now, the IPFS hasn't been set yet, but what we're going to do is we're going to choose a mint date, and we'll set today's date as the mint date. And are there any remarks you would like added to the metadata of the NFT? Any?
I think it's okay. We'll just go with the description. Thanks, Andrew.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll just copy this. Probably safer. And now I'm going to click submit, and then we wait. So actually, the IPFS file has been pinned. I have a console that I can see, so that is good. So the file is up on IPFS, and the last 3 letters of the IPFS hash is DM9. And I do not have any of the errors that we had the very first time we tested Greg, because we did not use any special characters. So that is a good sign too. So it was batch number 40, and that was the total amount. So what we want to do is click in, and first let's do this. Let's click to see if the IPFS actually is there. And right now, this IPFS, I'm not sure if you can see, but the last 3 letters are DM9, and you can see these 3 transactions that have been submitted to the blockchain, to IPFS, not the blockchain. So all the data is there, and I'll leave this window open. And now what we're going to do is for that same batch, we're going to click on this I. And this sometimes takes a little bit of time, but the validate transaction. So this is a transaction ID. And this morning it took a little longer, but it looks like when this validate transaction button is active, when I click it, that means the transaction actually went through. So it takes us to the Cardano Explorer. And if we are lucky, we shall see a few things. So this is a transaction detail. And one item was minted. And let's see, this is what was minted. I'm not sure if you can see my screen well, but you can see the name, Empowa Pay Genesis NFT 2021-03. And this is the policy ID under which it was minted. Then let's click into that asset and see if the metadata and everything corresponds with what we wrote. So I'm going to click into, so this is the NFT. It's an ERC721 token. And of course, the color of the blockchain is always dark mode. So right here, you can see, you can see the metadata associated with this transaction. I don't know if you can see very well. I'm going to try and zoom this in a bit. But you can see our policy ID. We also have the Empowa Pay Genesis NFT, confirmation that it's an ERC721 token, the IPFS address ending in DM9, and that is confirmed by this. You guys can see in the top left corner here, it ends in DM9, the hash associated with the IPFS. So that is the form of the product, the description, and a mutable moment in our affordable journey. We have the policy ID restated, and then we have the date created, 2:23 p.m. We have the minted date, which is the same. But what is also interesting is we also have the client IDs, and in the metadata, we actually have the transaction list of those 3 transactions that were part of that batch. So, and this is not on testnet. This is on mainnet. This information is there forever for the owners of the home to use as proof of their bona fide ownership and financing and payment of their property. So thank you,
Awesome.
everybody.
Well done, guys.
Yeah.
So I think this is, of course,
Well
major.
done, Andrew. Well done, team.
It feels pretty good, actually. I gotta say, it feels pretty good.
Nice work, team.
Good work, guys. For the Cardano community, we'll be sharing the exact links to all of these transactions so you can go. Yeah. Don't
Yeah, for
trust,
sure.
verify. So go verify for yourself. But yeah, it's of course a mega moment. And well done again to the whole team. Well done to Andrew, everybody. This is one step closer to realizing our ambition. So for now, I think I'll say again, thank you to everyone who's watched this initial little demo on us minting our first NFT. I think it is a historic moment. We'll do a full run through of Empowa Pay so you guys can see all the functionality. A lot of work went into it. And again, thank you to the community for joining our journey. We really are taking the steps needed to revolutionize the affordable housing space.
Woohoo!